Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Emergent Gamer Podcast. This is episode 244, and myself, Trip Zero, and my co-host,
Felix Surgood.
We are coming to you from the new world, the new quarantined social distance world. Felix, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm healthy.
Yeah, same.
I don't
Same.
seem to have I don't seem to have any symptoms, so it's good, I guess.
Good. It's very good. Definitely good.
I firmly believe I have it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think we all have it.
yeah, I think everyone in this area,
just chilling somewhere.
I think the area that we live in southeastern Pennsylvania has officially been announced by our local government, not by the PA government, but by local government, has officially been announced as community spread. And if you don't know what community spread means, it means that they don't really have a fucking path where they could discover where this person got the fucking disease. They just fucking have it, which means that people are just walking around breathing on each other and passing the disease. Unfortunately for me, my actual job sent us home, and for whatever,
I did a lot of jobs out there. Yeah,
a lot of jobs did that. But I was fortunate enough to also get pay for it. I don't know how long that's going to last, but we'll find out.
In the semblance of keeping some kind of order and normalcy here, let's start like we always do with just calling out some housekeeping stuff. The Emerging Gamer Podcast is on YouTube right now, so find us on YouTube and subscribe to us. We're close, but we're still trying to get to 100 subscribers officially. We can make a custom URL that makes it even easier to find us at that point. So find us on YouTube and subscribe to us. All of our weekly shows are there, along with breakouts of conversation segments from the episode during the week. If you haven't found us on your favorite podcast service, do that. Leave us a review, rate us, whatever.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify mainly.
And tell your friends. Tell your friends about us and have us listen. And then find us on Twitter, Immersion_Gamer, and then send us stuff to talk about on the show. Ask us questions, because when we have questions, we take time out and respond to you guys directly. And our shows are every Wednesday night we record, and they are live by 5 a.m. the next Thursday morning. This week we have something extra special as well to call out, just to keep on people's radars. This coming Friday, 2 days from now, the 20th of March 20th, besides being Animal Crossing Day, which a lot of people are very, very, very excited for, one of our co-hosts, Neo Yoshi, and a good friend of the podcast and guest 2 or 3 weeks ago, S-Ribs, streamer on Twitch, they are doing an event called Pause Your Game. That's pause as in animal pause. And Pause Your Game is a animal rescue organization, and they're doing a stream at 9 p.m. on Friday. So follow Neo_Yoshi, follow at SRibs. Neo is NEO_AOSHI. SRibs is at ESRIVS at SRibs. And I believe this will be on SRibs stream. Let me just double check that super quick.
So they're doing it.
Yes. Twitch.tv/SRibs is where the event will be. And that's 9 p.m. on Friday. It's a 24-hour live charity fundraiser for Pause Your Game. So please check that out.
Are they going to be co-streaming, or are they going to be
I believe they're going to be together on the stream. Yeah. So check it out for sure. It's a great cause. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, speaking of normalcy, how's your week gone, Felix? What have you been gaming? What you been doing? We didn't have you on the show last week because last week we talked to Charles.
Oh yeah, so it's been like 2 weeks since anyone's seen me on the show or heard me on the show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back. I didn't go anywhere.
I
think last week I just coronavirus shit was just kind of kicking in, and I was in Crazy Town, bro. I'm not in as much Crazy Town as I was then.
Yeah, last week the NBA shut down, and that was kind of the catalyst, I think, to a lot of.
Well, the Crazy Town I was in is last week I was still going to my job, and my job is in a public environment. I don't talk about the details of what my job is, but it's in a public environment, and I was going every single day, thinking, "Oh, this is the day. This is where I get it. This is the day. This is where I get it."
Yeah, I mean, dealing with a lot of people, it's very hard to think that you wouldn't.
Right.
With all that potential interaction, you know,
so
you were certainly not keeping 6 feet away from you and the person next.
Never. So I had a much more anxiety than I do now. Now I'm convinced I just have it and I'm asymptomatic, and eventually I'm going to get symptoms. We'll find out when, you know.
Or you won't. But you're doing
Or
the
I
right
won't.
thing by
Yeah.
social distancing,
But I
like everyone else
literally,
out there should be.
dude, I literally have not left my house since my work said go home. I was like, great, fine, and I haven't left.
Yeah.
And I won't leave.
You get out there, get some fresh air, take a walk, get your groceries.
Yeah, well, I've walked around the block.
Just don't go to don't go to a fucking party.
I'm not.
There are people that are still partying, and that's like unbelievable.
Yeah,
like I get it. I want to be out too. This shit sucks, but dude, you gotta, for the good of everyone, and to get this done sooner. Like I don't want to be in here during the summer. So everyone, get your shit together out there. Let's do it now, not when it's fucking 90 degrees.
Our
and we're at the
audio
beach.
quality isn't as good when we're this remote. So
Also, this show is gonna suck more with this virus. So
if you guys don't
think-
party, you're gonna keep our show in better audio quality.
do your part, please, please.
But you did ask me like what I've been doing. Obviously, like all gamers, we are now in a utopia. They've canceled sports, and then they've told us to not interact with people and just play games all the time. Well,
so
they didn't tell us to
everything
play
we've
games.
been doing already.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go.
I've also started to watch through the entire collection of James Bond films.
Nice, dude.
I'm currently on. I just started Goldfinger, so I'm like only
very cool.
2 films in. So I'm going to do that.
Bond.
All the
James Bond.
James Bond. Yes, I'm on
James Bond.
Connery.
The Connerys.
Yeah.
I fucking love James Bond, dude. I'm so sad the new one got pushed back, but I mean, I get it. I literally get it. No one would have been in
Here's
the
what I'm
theaters.
hoping most of those stupid companies fucking get through their thick skull that we're going to be doing this for a while. If they want to sell tickets to those movies, they should just release them digitally.
Universal is. I saw a news story about
Universal
that. They're dropping it for $20 rentals. Just well, those were like, they haven't done a new release yet, but those are like super recent, were just in theaters kind of thing. Like sooner than they would normally get pushed out.
I think fucking Disney should do it for Black Widow. I think Black Widow should come out for sale like it would normally come out in the theater, just come out as a digital download for whatever price. Like, why push the date back? I know they are, but why do that? Just fucking release it for the normal ticket price, you know, sell it for, if you got to sell it for $20, that's
Release
fine.
the Snyder Cut. Sorry, that's the wrong hashtag.
Right. But you sell it for $20, and for people who are in Disney Plus, they can get it for as part of their subscription. It's not like the movie's not going to do well without the box office. Like, it's still going to do well worldwide. People would buy it.
If people had the ability to buy that movie,
To instantly buy the movie before, you know, and see it before their friends.
no, they would lose money though. You know what people would do? They would get all their friends over into one building, even against the social distancing. They'd say, well, Trump said under 10 people, so like we're good. And then you don't have to pay Disney $20 once.
Right.
Do you remember, to steer this back to gaming a little bit, but still in a tangential, peripheral way, the Kinect, when it shipped with the Xbox, was like, there was some, I think there was even patents out there for technology that could scan the room. Obviously, like everyone can be scanned and kind of counted with the Kinect. They could count the viewers and charge you a higher rate because you were showing more people whatever content you were purchasing.
Wow.
People were like, fuck that, dude. Like this Kinect shit.
Yank it out of the fucking wall.
Yeah. Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's weird.
But if that was around, Disney'd be like, yes. Wow, you got 10 people there. $200, please. Black
You're
Widow.
right. So they would lose a shit ton of money, but I don't care. I really just don't give a shit. They're Disney and they got more money than God. So
But yeah, like we said, we're getting some recently released movies released sooner to home. So I think they are going to move that trend up.
The one I definitely want to watch is The Hunt, which was in the theater the week coronavirus went nuts, and I was going to go see it.
That one will be one you can watch sooner for $20 American dollars.
I was on the verge of pulling. I was going to buy movie tickets that week, and then the coronavirus shit hit, and I was like, nah, not going to do that. Didn't buy the movie tickets. I was like, fuck this. But the games I've been playing over the course of, obviously I'm still playing Fallout 76. And more than ever, I've had the people that I play with. I prefer to play with Splorence and Philly Special are off now with me because they're my actual coworkers for my job, so they're sent home too. So all of us are just hanging out, and at odd times, they're texting. We have like a little personal group chat that we do, and they're coming in. All of them are just as enthusiastic as me to the upcoming stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't know. Is Bethesda going to be on time with their launch? Are their employees forced to go to work?
I mean, I don't see why not.
I feel like a dick, man. I want the Wastelanders drop on the right time, which is April 7th. But hey, Bethesda, I just want to say to you, if you got to push it back, bro, that'll be fine.
we're a week into Destiny's most recent season.
Yeah.
It started on March 10th. At that point, there was already a lot of talk gearing up about the social distancing, and Bungie had been working on a full remote strategy for their workers. Okay. And they sent everybody home. So Bungie is now a fully remote company.
So it is possible that Bethesda did the same thing. And so
it's possible. I don't recall hearing any announcements about it. But,
I haven't heard that anything's off. One of the games I want to talk
definitely
about.
Possible.
One of the games I want to talk about that kind of snaked a release under my nose without me knowing it because I was so distracted by the coronavirus shit is fucking State of Decay came out. Not only did they snake a DLC, State of Decay 2 snaked a DLC in general because I didn't even know they were going to come out with a DLC this year. I found that out around the time when Wastelanders was announced. I was like, there was like an announcement, like a weird Twitter announcement that I saw. Undead Labs is going to be releasing State of Decay Juggernaut Edition. And I'm like, what the fuck is Juggernaut Edition? And I had just got back into it just because I had seen an ad on Facebook for it. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I discover after I started playing it again, reacquainted myself with the game. You remember that a couple episodes ago where I said I reacquainted with State of Decay.
Yeah, you're having a great time with it.
Right. Then I see this ad for Juggernaut Edition. Facebook hits me with that. And I'm like, what the fuck when's that coming out? And so that came out on the 13th. And I didn't even know. I thought it was coming at the end of the month. I knew it was coming in March, but I thought it was coming at the end of the month. And sure enough, this fucking game is out, and it made some really vital improvements to the game. I'm like,
what did they change? What did they add?
So you don't understand how much time this is a saver on. But
I don't. I only played this game that one day. Me, you, Neo, and Locke all played it, and that game was a roaring dumpster fire of trash.
Yeah, and
so
it was horrible. So we could get back into it. I know you have a lot of Destiny to play, but I know you're awful lot right now.
Oh, am I?
So I know you have some time.
Am I?
But so the loop of the game, the gameplay loop is you drive the car out, right? You go to different locations. The locations will have either construction items. They call it materials. You have construction items. You have medical supplies. You have food supplies. You have gas supplies. You have, I think there's 5 total things. When you come back, you're wearing these things called rucksacks, which are these giant bags on your back.
Sure.
A rucksack.
Sure.
People know what that is. Yeah. So you come back.
If they don't, they can look it up. They have Google.
What you had to do in State of Decay 1 was run it into this area within the compound called storage. And you run it in, and when you get in the storage area, you hit Y, and then it stores your shit and adds to your total numbers of materials, supplies, shit like that. In addition to that, you also get loose items that are not a part of rucksacks. So that would be individual things like painkillers and individual things like weapons and, shit like that, bandages, things like that you'll find all over the place that are not in a rucksack. They're just loose. So now, not only can you, and someone told me today that you could do this even with the rucksacks prior to the update, but I don't know if I believe them because I don't remember this. Maybe I just never knew.
Could be.
But now what they've done is when you park your vehicle from the back of the vehicle, you can just add the shit to your stash. You don't even have to go in the building now.
That's dope.
So you could just get back in the car, go to the back of the vehicle like you're going to unload, and then just add your shit, everything, individual items, rucksacks, all of it. Right from the fucking parking spot when you've pulled in. So you do have to go back to your base, but once you get there, you don't have to go into the base. The amount of time it takes to like navigate through the walls and over and upstairs and all that shit to get to where your storage rooms generally are. And remember, the bases you're getting are assorted. Some are houses, so it's really easy to get to the room. The one I found today when I was playing on my live stream was a truck stop. And the fucking storage room is like, it's a huge compound. You got to run all the way across that to the center building. Then you go in, and then you got to navigate to a back room in the place. It's a huge pain in the ass. Now I can do it right from the goddamn parking space. I don't have to go into the whole facility. They gamified it more.
Yeah.
It was more of a literal experience when you're in the apocalypse. Yes, of course, in an apocalypse, you would have to go to the back room and drop it. They simplified it. They said, this is more like a game. Let's make it a game.
Sure.
The way I discovered this, though, this feature, if it was there the whole time and I didn't know it, this is the reason why. They finally added an elaborate tutorial to the game. So the game has an outstanding tutorial that takes you all the way up to, because I started fresh today. I just picked a new crew and then decided to start fresh. The tutorial will now take a new player all the way up to acquiring a bigger property, like one of the bigger, more mint properties where you can have more people and more fixtures and, more defenses and all that shit. It's really cool. And the game starts you already in one. So after you do the early tutorial where you skip this like military base, you leave and then it immediately takes you to a new place. And what's already in place is an infirmary and a workshop. Like all these things you have to build in the past are already pre-built so that they can give you a tutorial on how to use them. And that's pretty cool. Lacking in the fucking game. I mean, anyone who started the game, sure, for the seasoned players, it's more tedium, but the seasoned player can skip all that. They don't have to do any of that. They can just, when you skip, you can pick whatever region. There's a new region they added too, which is a more like logging themed region type thing.
A lot of trees. Is it like
a lot of trees? Yeah. More shadows because of the trees. So it's scarier.
Cool.
That's I guess it supposedly is the Juggernaut edition like exclusive map. So it's really cool so I played through the tutorial and it was really cool that they gave new players this ability to just kind of like get on their feet before they killed them.
Right.
And it is essential if you're going to start a brand new playthrough in the nightmare mode, which is the hardest difficulty, it is essential that you do this to give yourself some kind of leg. Another thing that is really good for nightmare mode, when you're in you're in this first part where that's all scripted. You got to follow it, where you're leaving this military base. And in the process of leaving the military base, a friend of yours gets bitten by the blood plague. The blood plague was this new mechanic that they added to the world, which is this crazy disease that your character can get that can actually kill you, right?
It's not the zombie thing. It's something different.
State of Decay 1 was just normal zombies, and you'd get hordes, and they'd overwhelm you, and that's the only way you could die. State of Decay 2 added a particular zombie type. So every class of zombie has an additional blood plague version. So what they have red eyes, they have slicker skin, they're kind of scarier, they make grumbling sounds, so you can't tell if it's a big monster coming after you or just a small one. So they all make these weird...
That's scary.
Yeah. So you hear these like weird roar, grumble type things all over the board, and then you're like, oh, is that a feral or is that a fucking plague zombie? I don't know. And then it turns out to be a plague zombie, a little easier of a kill. But anyway, the point is your character, that you pick two characters. That's how it starts. Okay. Your group starts with two. You come out of the military base, one gets bit with the blood plague. Well, on Nightmare mode, the first time I played Nightmare mode, if you don't have an infirmary set up, the minute you come out, that character that by the story gets bit by the blood plague dies.
Oh.
Because you die, the blood plague will kill you faster in Nightmare mode.
Oh, damn.
So, dude, this was crazy. I came out, didn't pay attention, didn't focus on infirmary, didn't get my infirmary set up the first time I played through this. One of my two characters instantly died. I was already behind the 8 ball, and I was fucked.
Shit.
And what was great in playing this new content is you do this tutorial, and then they give you an infirmary. It's already there, so it's a win-win. You immediately, this character comes out and can live, which is fucking terrific.
That's great.
So I really enjoyed that. Yeah, they completely overhauled the UI. They completely overhauled the starting menu. I now understand things so much better in how you play the game. And I'm telling you, that one mechanic of just being able to put stuff into your storage from your car is fucking terrific.
Dude, I get it.
It's the
Changes
best
a lot.
thing. But yeah, so I'm back playing that, and I'm probably just going to alternate back and forth between Fallout 76 and State of Decay 2.
Sure.
The other day, I just had such an exceptional day playing Fallout 76 with so I'm playing with the private world through the Fallout First membership.
Right.
I had, we didn't fill it up to 8, but I had 6 people, including myself, playing in the private world.
Yeah.
Everyone was having a laugh, and we were having a great time. And
nice. That's
we
cool.
were just taking workshops, and at one point, one of my friends decided to he was in the server, but he wasn't on our team, and he decided to challenge us, and then we all did this little melee thing or fighting back and forth type
that's
thing.
Pretty cool.
Over a workshop. That's fun. I don't like that when a random fucking nobody that I don't know comes in and fucks with me. I don't like that.
Right. No, that's probably your least favorite thing in the world. Happens.
Their original design for these public workshops that are in the public servers that people can contest, fuck that. I just don't even care about any of that. I don't want to contest workshops. I don't want to do anything like that. But, 2 friends fucking around in the server, we're all friends, whatever. That's fun. I like doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I guess I like sanitized environments, not to be topical to the coronavirus. I guess I like sanitized experiences of PvP.
Sure.
It's when it's not sanitized by, for instance, I don't have any problem doing Crucible. I've done Destiny Crucible for years.
Yes. I mean, you like just very rigid. Everyone's on the same page. We're going to go in. We're going to start. There's going to be a timer, and I'm going to start here. You're going to start there. And we're going to shoot each other. You don't want someone coming into your house and stealing your shit and kicking your table over. Essentially, you want that to happen.
Yeah, because it's always unfair. It's literally always unfair. That person is only coming in because they know they have for instance, in GTA Online, that person's only challenging me because they got the rocket motorcycle that fires rockets. They
100%.
They wouldn't challenge me if they knew they didn't have that. You know what I mean?
There are people that just also exist to troll all the time, and so they'll probably fuck around no matter what. But
the troll isn't going to do the trolling if they know they don't have the resources to fucking do it over and over again. And a lot, so fuck that. I don't fucking care. Anyway, I don't have to keep going on and on about this, but I'm definitely going to be playing for the remainder of my quarantine time. I'm just going to be playing fucking Fallout and State of Decay 2.
So you're in experiences that are echoes of real life in very extreme ways.
Well,
very extreme ways.
Fallout's is not because of a plague. Fallout is because of definitely State of Decay 2 more than Fallout. Fallout is a post-apocalyptic. The only thing that Fallout echoes is, who the big bad is in Fallout, right?
I don't know.
Red China.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So throughout all of the Fallout lore and the Fallout storyline, it's always the very jingoistic wartime cries of gotta kill the Red Chinese, that type of thing. There's robots that I can't remember what they're called right now. I don't know. I see them every day. I shoot them every day. But there's these little robots, these little droids. They're about this big that shoot lasers that have the red Chinese star on them. So all of that is built into the lore of Fallout. So that's connected to it. But in the Fallout lore, it's more of a nuclear situation. I don't know the lore off the top of my head, but it has something to do with a computer system, I think, tricking China into nuking the U.S. So, and I don't know I'm not that heavy on the lore like some people are. There's a whole there's a wiki you can go to discover all
of
this.
course there is. I don't even think that we have to go into that kind of detail. No. It's literally like the potential social breakdown and how people handle living in a wilderness existence.
Yeah.
Not going to happen if anyone is out there listening and they're very anxious. But you know, you could make a couple mental leaps and easily get to that point.
Yeah. It's I personally think the loop of the game though is my favorite part. You know, just we go in, these public workshops when you're in a private server are just free game. Anyone can go to them. You're not contested because you're all on the same team. So when I go into a public workshop, I have created a blueprint for the workshops. So I don't have a blueprint. I don't move my camp. My camp stays where it is. It's on the water. I'm getting water resources, no problem. I have like a little farm there. I go back, I make adhesive, I do all that shit. I've told you about that. But I haven't talked about what I do with the public workshops, which I think is the real advantage of the Fallout First membership. Like not being contested, you can go in and
look, you got to get paid by them, man.
Yeah.
The way you just tagged along, which is the real benefit of the Fallout First membership, was like professional level.
But I wasn't doing it because I'm being real. I
know. You legitimately love and use this thing. I think it's great.
So I will go in, and anyone who's listening who's a Fallout 76 fan will know what I'm talking about. I'll go in, I'll take a public workshop, and then I have a blueprint that's called the crafting shed.
Mm-hmm.
So I lay the crafting shed blueprint, right? And when I drop that in, everyone else gets the major benches they need. They get the fucking power armor bench. They get the weapon bench, the armor bench.
It all just happens.
It all just happens the minute I drop it in. It also has, it's 2 levels. And at the top, I have a shooting platform that you can shoot from. Because
nice.
The public workshops exist not just for a player to defend from other players, you know, if you're in a public area. It exists so that you periodically can defend it from NPC type enemies, you know, like, you know, robots or whatever comes in.
Right.
So if I do this in at least 3 of these, I keep getting hit with public events. They're not public events I have to go around the map and find or wait for a certain time when they show. Well, I do have to wait for a certain time when they show up. But when these defend public events happen at these locations that you've claimed, like if you have 3 or 4 on the map, some of them can overlap. They're happening so frequently, and you get a ton of XP from that. So it's a huge advantage for somebody who bought the Fallout First membership. You can just keep doing them over and over again. Plus, all of them have resource gatherers. So you could put all these resource gatherers, and you're just collecting droves and droves of resources from every one of them.
Dude, you are crazy. So hard into this life. I love it.
It's nuts.
I love it.
I don't have to go into any more crazy detail about it, but that's what I'm primarily doing. I might get back in. I'm still playing my season in MLB. So
nice.
MLB The Show 2019.
MLB The Show.
Loving
the
it.
only season that's happening of baseball.
We're winning.
We're winning.
Phillies are not winning outside of this room, but in MLB The Show, they have a winning record.
There's a Pennsylvania task force responders camp set up outside of the stadium. If we're talking about what's going on at the stadium.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
that's like the division.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of games that are like what's going on now. So what I've been doing, it's funny because the Destiny season dropped on the 10th. And a lot of people had a lot of concerns with the amount of content that was there.
Not enough.
Trials of Osiris came back on the Friday, right? The Friday after that launched. And that was great.
Concerned with not enough content?
Yeah. Or the things that you do in there. So Trials came back as well. Trials was dope. There was some problems with
gameplay.
Me and him even hopped in for a little bit too. It was fun. Trials was great. There's a couple like weapon balance problems, like Hard Light that's you probably remember that gun from Destiny 1. It's back in Destiny 2, of course. Hard Light is just the choice for Trials. More, I mean, even because of the map. Like there was a map with a bunch of little small hallways and shit.
When
and
I left, here's the thing. When I left Destiny 2, there was this new Destiny map that everyone was playing in Destiny 2, and the meta was Hardlight.
Probably, yeah. They did some auto rifle balancing too in between the seasons. So Hardlight's very, very powerful right now. There's almost zero damage fall off, and the bullets ricochet, doing more damage if they hit you. You can just shoot down a hallway and just fucking, you'll get someone hit. Like it's just easy. So people are a little bit salty about that, but you can play around it. It's not terrible. But it's great. It's a lot of fun. The Lighthouse is back. It's a great Pinnacle PvP event, and it was cool to watch players that play PvP spend their week preparing the way that a lot of us in the PvE space would normally prepare for a raid. To get your power level up, to grind out, drops and rewards, and efficiently level your character. It was all of them were doing that because power level matters in Trials of Osiris. So it was a cool little flip, and I'm actually stoked for the PvP player base because they have not had. Dude, really they have not had anything new since some Destiny 1, since Destiny 1 dropped. Maybe Trials originally. In terms of new, unique things to do, PvP focused.
In Trials is not even unique. It's just
it's brought
something
back.
people
Right.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. There's been new modes and things over the years, of course, but nothing that's like that galvanizes a community like something like this. So it's cool to have them experiencing
Do
that.
you think the new drop of this was galvanizing?
Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%.
Everybody came out for it.
Yeah, dude, and so many people that play PvP are seeing success in streaming. It's great. I mean, Trials is one of the things that grew the Destiny directory on Twitch originally, like Destiny 1, because it was a fun event to watch or participate in on the weekends. You could turn your stream into a server stream, and like people could hop in there, and you could carry them to the Lighthouse and get followers and views from that. It was a great like catalyst for a lot of growth and excitement around the game, and the same thing is kind of happening again with that at the center. So it's really, really cool. On the flip side of things, on the PvE side of things, people really, really, really got mad week 1 about the amount of stuff to do. Like, we're talking the most vitriol dripping posts on Reddit.
When was week 1? When was week 1?
A week ago. So last Tuesday, not yesterday.
When
but
a lot of people were getting sent home. And they had more time to be incensed about it. Because they had more time to play through the content, and they burned through it.
Well, some yes, but also some things are very high power level, and you can't do it until you level up. So like, people are complaining that they can't do things, and they're complaining there's nothing to do. No one knows what they want, and they're just mad about it, right? just they want to be mad to be mad. And Bungie definitely like dialed back some of its pre-season communication based on feedback from last season that told us everything that was coming. And then remember that giant puzzle that was happening, like that big, huge
you guys all
puzzle?
were pissed about the response to
at the very end of it. The weapon that dropped was a weapon we knew was coming, and all that we got was the gun a couple days early with all of this community solving. There was nothing like truly unique and massive.
You guys were waiting
that was
for this like
from
amazing puzzle, and they were just like, oh yeah. Remember that thing we were planning on dropping?
Right.
We were just going to give that to you
sooner. They've told us basically nothing about what's going on and just let the season kind of drop. And people were like, well, there's nothing coming. So I got almost zero patience for the feedback loop of what Destiny 2 is right now. But in terms of what people are feeling, there is some of that I can definitely be in touch with. I just don't feel the need. And I haven't touched the game since like a couple days last week, honestly. They brought back the Fourth Horseman, which is another Destiny 1 gun. They turned that into a quest starting yesterday. I have not been in there to even touch the beginning of that quest. So I'm feeling that I don't need to be there every day. Not that that's a bad thing, because like I'm going to get into pretty soon, we had some real fun times during my stream during the week, getting into some different games and different experiences.
Trip Zero.
Felix are good.
As much as you probably feel the same about Fallout 76. I was quite happy when I tuned into your stream and you weren't playing Destiny.
Dude, a lot of people have told me that. A lot of people have told me that.
I
appreciate
the fact that you brand yourself and you do it well. But it is good to change it up every now and then, you know.
It's great to change it up. Yeah.
What were you playing when I popped in? I can't even remember.
When did you pop in? But there was so many games this past couple of days, dude.
God, I was in there for a little bit. You weren't playing Destiny. You were playing something else. I'm not even gonna.
Was it late last week or was it this week?
It was this week.
It was last week, right? Was it this week? Monday?
Were you on Monday? Just tell me what you were playing.
If you were this week, you probably saw Journey.
Oh yeah, Journey. That's what it was.
Journey. Okay, cool.
Love Journey, dude.
Journey's great, dude. Yeah. But I don't know, I just don't feel the need to like keep up with the Destiny stuff. I'm gonna get my seasonal stuff done for sure. The need to be there day one and do it all day one is just not. It's not there. It's still the main problem I think is that everything is like checklisty and grindy, and it all goes away at the end of each season. All the new stuff. So like you feel like you got to do it, but then you also feel like, what the fuck's the point? Just gonna go away. You know. So like there's a weird. Is
there a plan to phase out the seasonal stuff or no? Besides,
yeah, once the season's done, it's like any unique gun that was that season, unique armor piece.
No. I'm saying, is there a plan in their roadmap to phase out doing seasonal stuff?
Oh, as of now, no. Luke Smith did send a letter out a couple weeks ago, touching on some of this feedback and this general feeling, talking about how they're going to go forward and make adjustments to seasons, especially in terms of like content. Because people don't want stuff to go away, right? Like that's kind of the end. That's the core focus. Like things should be deeper in depth. Well, that's an oxymoron, or redundancy. Things should be deeper in play and mechanics versus just like effervescent there and gone, because that shit doesn't retain players. But bringing content that can be deepened, can be kind of honed through skill and repeatability, that kind of stuff is going to make players stick around.
Are they doing it kind of for the same reason that Bethesda's doing so Bethesda always launches certain cosmetics in their store and then they stay for a period of time and then they're gone? And then
Destiny's store is very, very cosmetic and seasonal rotation heavy.
So
yes.
So are they doing it for the same reason? Like my theory on why Bethesda does it is because they want players to feel like the shit they have is unique. And so
there's definitely that. Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely a motivation behind it.
Yeah. I mean, well, we're not going to get hard and fast monetary motivations from Luke Smith in plain English.
And I won't get it from fucking Pete Hines or Bethesda.
But I think, of course, man, like this is all motivated by money. Like the game is at its very baseline free to play. So all somebody has to do to get involved is pay the $10 for the season, and then they're up to date immediately with the newest activities. And then they can spend money on the store to get a cool looking ship, a cool looking set of armor. The set of armor that is purchasable only this season looks so fucking cool, and they're doing this on purpose.
You just reminded me something. I forgot to tell you something.
What?
I bought Adams.
Oh, he bought it. There you go. There he is. Yeah, exactly.
But here's
I can't knock you. I can't knock you. The amount of silver that I dumped into Bungie would keep me alive for a couple months in this coronavirus.
Look, you're going to appreciate this. You're Irish, right?
Not at all.
You're very Irish.
Okay. I'm wearing green right now, so.
On St. Patty's Day, you know how when you probably don't know, but if you wanted to drop something for somebody else, it drops in a brown paper bag. Have you ever seen that?
I don't know.
It looks like the shit bag from Billy Madison.
Okay.
Like you're dropping a little shit bag
sure.
to people, right?
Is this a thing you have to give things to people in this bag?
So this can be skinned now. They have multiple types of skins that you can get with Adams. Adams you can earn in game, but you can also buy them. And they dropped. I had no Adams on St. Patty's Day, and I went in to play the game. They dropped a fucking skin for the loot bag. That is a fucking jolly pot of gold.
Oh man!
But it's not gold. It's not gold. It's caps.
Of course it is. A pot of caps.
A pot of caps, dude. I had to fucking get it, dude. I got it.
Of course he did. They know that we love dumb shit like that.
Oh, they know.
They know we love dumb shit like that. We know we know that it's dumb shit, but we love it.
Did you watch Mythic Quest?
I've seen 3 episodes of Mythic Quest.
Oh
it's
my god, dude! You haven't got to the. Did you get to the episode where they're having a problem with something giving away free loot?
No, I haven't seen that one.
There's an episode later that's hilarious. I don't need to go into details, and in fact, me telling you this doesn't even like spoil the episode. Or plot points. But there's this one point where something in the episode starts spitting out stuff from the store. And at one point, it spits out a horse, and the guy David or whatever goes, "Oh my God, that's the most expensive thing in our store." Total reference to fucking Oblivion.
Yep.
Total reference to Oblivion. Their
Yeah,
references,
exactly.
their gaming references in Mythic Quest are so on point.
Oh, they're
almost,
fantastic.
It's
Yeah.
almost like they don't expect anyone but gamers to watch their fucking show. It's so goddamn funny, dude. That was a great fucking. I watched all the episodes. I blew through them. I loved it.
I'm gonna pop back in. Yeah, for
They're
sure.
so good. Anyway, go ahead. I got you off point.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's it's kind of same old with Destiny 2. I personally think by the end of this season, all of the anger and frustration will have an answer, or will have like all the reasons that Bungie did all this stuff for will become clear, right? Not that anyone's going to ever say, "Oh, I get it. I was wrong," and thank you, Bungie. They're all going to still be little shits about it. But I think all of the decisions are going to make sense once we get a full seasonal idea. And this is just how feedback has to happen. You know, like the way it has to happen in software and software dev and gaming dev. Like if people had a problem a month ago, right? 30 days, and a season is set to launch 30 days from that problem. You've got a full season already nearly set to go, right? You can't pivot at that point because that fucks everything else up. That ruins all of your dependencies, your plans, your projects, whatever. That season's going to ship probably with problems that people didn't like. That people are going to think that you're ignoring them. It's because people are uneducated about how the process works. Now, maybe in 90 days, you might be able to pivot or change something, but there's still less of a chance than something 180 days away. You know, like these things take time. There's pipelines. There's an order to the whole thing, and people just fly off the fucking handle. And I can't read Destiny's subreddits anymore because it's so dumb. There are valid points hidden in the anger, but it's just people. They're just upset.
But I don't think. Believe me, I'm loving the game that I love. Like you you can't fucking do that with like service games.
You can't.
know, I have the most premier example of not being angry with this company. Like you can, but you're doing it wrong on Reddit. You know what I do when I get angry? I do submit a ticket to Bethesda, Fallout 76. Then I put what it is. I pick like submit feedback. You pick submit feedback. They ask you topically to tell them what it is. You write a full description of what's wrong with the game, and then you submit it. It says nothing like, we're going to call you, we're going to contact you.
No,
nothing.
Just sends it.
But it submits the feedback directly to their devs. I know for a fact, and I'm not saying my little submission changed it, but I submitted something, and sure enough, in the next update, it was fixed. Like,
so I mean, they probably had that worked on. They probably heard from multiple people.
They either were working on it or multiple people did it. But
Yeah.
if you can find the submit a feedback chain with a company, and Bethesda, I'm going to be, for all you people out there who think Bethesda shit and they're horrible, they have a very clearly defined submit a feedback that you can go to. And if you're not doing that and you're just bitching on Reddit, you're doing it wrong.
I mean, they do pop in there. For a fact, they do, but it's not the main channels for sure.
You're going to be able to, dude. I tweeted Pete Hines about the lack of perk card loadouts in Fallout. Perk card loadouts. You load up your crafting perk cards, and then if you want to go back to doing your weapons, you just throw a switch to switch back to your. That's what I want. And I said to Pete Hines on Twitter, I said, Pete, it was like perk card loadouts ? And then it was like
someone replied to you, didn't they? That,
Pete Hines did.
Oh yeah, right.
Pete Hines responded to it. He goes, "I'm waiting for it as much as you are."
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
It was a cool response. You know, it's probably not telling it all. I don't even know if perk card loadouts are coming with the new Wastelanders DLC, but they might be coming like in a subsequent patch because it's a service game. It's a fucking service game. You know, and as long as the service is running, the shit's gonna change all the time.
So, long story short, we're chilling with that. I still have a lot of love for it. I love being in that world, but we're big chilling. In terms of the stuff that we did get into this week, already feeling like I wanted to change it up. At the end of last week, before all this coronavirus shit really hit the fan, I was already planning to go into Portal 1 right into Portal 2, and those were a couple of really fun days.
And you did
playing those games.
You did the whole thing.
Did all the Portal and then all the Portal 2. Yep, just went right into another. It was a lot of fun.
I only did Portal 1.
Oh, dude, Portal 2 is great. You gotta play Portal 2.
I heard Portal 2.
You never played Portal 2?
No.
Dude,
No, all I had was Orange Box, dude. That's all I had.
dude. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We're gonna get you playing Portal 2 for sure.
What do I buy it on?
You can buy. I mean,
all
it's
of
actually not that intensive a game, so you could buy it on Steam.
Oh, I
and
shouldn't.
run it
I
on your,
shouldn't
on
even
your
say
PC.
that. It's probably on both Game Pass and the PS.
I don't know for sure, but definitely a pretty good
Probably on both.
chance. I played those. That was a lot of fun. I did Journey on Monday. After a conversation with Oates about playing some stuff that was like calming. He was like, you should be on there and get some like calming streams. I'm like, it's kind of a really good idea. So did Journey. Journey's a lot of fun. Then I was like, yo, I should do those games that are like in the walking simulator category, where you just kind of like explore something. So I did Gone Home. Then I did Tacoma back to back.
Yeah.
Gone Home is a really interesting experience where you play as a college age girl who has come home from a semester abroad to a new house that she has never seen because her family moved while she was abroad. So
wow.
No one's home at this moment.
Is it first person?
And also,
third person?
It's first person. Yeah.
First person.
No one's home in the moment, and you've got to figure out where everyone is and what they're doing and what they're up to and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. The game takes place in 1995, so there's a lot of really cool like time capsule-y things in there.
Oh wow.
In terms of like
does it have
like her dad
source music in it from 95?
Not actual copyrighted music, but the music that you do hear, because like you start learning about like your sister. You find things and you hear this like journal music start to play, right? Not journal music, but you hear like a journal, like a voiceover, which is her sister talking to you, the player character, and her sister is hanging out with a bunch of friends and starts to get this crush on this girl who's her classmate, and the girl is in a band, and so like you find tapes of this girl's band sitting around the house and can pop in like a player near you, and it's very 90s grunge, kind of punk music that this like imaginary band is writing. It's super cool. Her dad, you find out like a letter from her dad's publisher. Her dad's a writer who wants to write some books, but like of course he's doing day work reviewing like the new combination Laserdisc VHS player that he got sent. And they need like a review in a week for that. And you see tapes all over the place, and it's a really cool like mid 90s time capsule. And then you poke around the house, you open drawers, you find things, read notes, read letters, kind of piece the story together, find keys to unlock different areas and more paths to the house. It just literally like an experience. Like imagine just diving through someone's home to piece the story together of them.
And you don't ever leave that location.
No, it all takes place in this house entirely.
House. Cool.
Yep. And then I played Tacoma, which is made by the same company, Fulbright.
You've been playing that for a while.
I played Tacoma once before. That was in 2017 before Destiny 2 came out. It was the summer. That game dropped, and I played it then. And this is only the second time that I've played it since, because Tacoma is also an experience. There's a beginning, middle, and end.
Wasn't Tacoma a space one or no?
It is a space one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Tacoma has a similar premise where you're someone who comes to, in this case, a space station and has to figure out what is happening there. You are someone who's under contract from the company that owns the space station to figure out what happened to the crew.
Are they called Tacoma?
The space station is called Tacoma.
Oh, got it.
So you get there from the company and you put on these little like computer chips that sit on your temples that create augmented reality wherever you look. So you don't have to like wear glasses or put shit in your eyes. It creates like an overlay for you. Through this AI system, you can reconstruct positional data of people, which means you can go into a room and watch what happened in that room through like a wireframe of the people that were there.
Jesus.
So what you do is you go into a room and you like the game will tell you there's new data to be reconstructed. You reconstruct the data. You watch the scene. You got 5 people sitting around maybe a conference table, for example. They're having a conversation. Then 2 people split off and walk somewhere else into a different area of the room, and 3 people stay there having their conversation. Well, you can go and watch either one of them because you're free moving while this is playing.
In terms of like the look of the game, does it look like how you remember those nodes you would find in Division 1 all over the world?
It looks very much like that. Right. Yes, like not as detailed, more wireframe, but yes, exactly, like holographic, moving around you kind of thing. And you can play, pause, fast forward, rewind these moving, living cutscenes around you.
Oh, that's cool.
So what you do is you stop, you watch someone's conversation, then someone splits off. You finish that conversation, rewind it, go follow the two that walked away, hear what they talked about. Someone walks into like their office, and you watch them type the code in, so then you can know the code to get in their office and walk in and kind of poke around in there. It's a really cool concept for
Yeah, it sounds great.
for like kind of like detective work in the future. So those were great. Those were great games to play. Then today I did Death Stranding,
Yeah, I gotta get back to it.
which
now
I've not finished it fully. I know I
Neither
called
have
it
I.
like my game of the year, and I still stand by that because of the experience I had with it.
I only
but,
got to the first boss fight in Port Knot City. So
Got it. Yeah. I dove back in hard because I had spent the last weeks that I was playing the game doing nothing but building highways. You start to build highways soon after you get to Port Knot City. Or you can ignore it. You can not do that at all if you don't want to. But I was obsessed with bringing materials to these auto pavers and building roads.
yeah, I didn't build any roads.
And you just cruise on there with a car and do so much. It's amazing.
Cars faster than the motorcycle, or no?
No, motorcycle actually is faster, but the car can carry more shit. So
Right.
I can do a couple auto pavers at a time. It's a little slower to get there, but I just load it up with all my materials. And I'm just new road piece, new road piece, new road piece, new road piece. It's great. But today I was like, I'm going to build 2 more road sections
That's
because I
so
love it.
crazy that fucking. So essentially, Kojima creates this amazing cinematic story game and then bakes in this whole thing that's kind of like Minecraft.
Dude,
It didn't even
I
tell
love it.
anity that he added that into a game.
no, let's build some roads.
He's such a weird dude, man.
It's why it's still my game of the year, dude. The microsystems of that game are fantastic.
Yeah.
So I did 2 more road sections, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna push ahead with the story, and we got a lot of story today, dude. There was a lot that happened. Like shit moved ahead in significant ways, like
See, that's the thing.
plot twisty ways.
That's the thing. Like, I can't watch your stream because I want to play that game.
right. Yeah,
I don't want to
I'm probably gonna do
spoil
more
it.
of it tomorrow too. So definitely don't
Yeah.
watch me
Spoil
tomorrow,
the
dude.
shit out of
We're in the shit right now.
What
for
was
sure.
a game I was playing recently where it might not have been recently, but a couple months back, I was playing a game and you popped in and you're like, I really want to play this, so I'm going to leave now.
Oh yeah. What was that?
I don't know what
I
it
fucking
was.
forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had you on, and I lowered the volume or like dropped the tab, but I had you there, and I was like, I'm here, but you know, I'm not gonna be listening to you or anything.
I don't want to know about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it might have
but
been
yeah,
Death Stranding. Because I
maybe.
bought it way ahead of you, right?
Yeah,
I bought it the
yeah,
first
that
day.
kind of makes sense a little
That's
bit.
what it
Yeah.
was. It was Death Stranding. That's what it was. It was that first two weeks that Death Stranding was out. I was playing
Nice.
it.
Very
And
cool.
you hadn't played it. You had bought it, but you hadn't played it, or did you buy
No.
it? Buy it immediately?
No, I didn't. I waited.
Yeah, you waited. Yeah, so
I waited.
Yeah, it must have been.
Then I scooped it digitally. It was like a random sale, and I saved like, I don't know, $15, $20, something like that.
Yep.
And scooped it, and it was great. Would have paid full price. Didn't have to. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. We're gonna have a lot more fun, kind of going forward with things that are different and you know, kind of vibey. Death Stranding, like I was saying earlier to you before we started, fits like the theme of the real world like a lot. You know, you got people in their homes, isolated in their own little cities, their prepper caves. You gotta literally go to them and reconnect them to everybody else through your own little
Except Death
new age
Stranding
internet you're bringing around.
has fucking better technology. We have Neanderthal infrastructure set up. With this
Sure,
kind of fucking
you
disease
know,
hitting.
it's not a perfect analogy, but you know, I can't wave around a bunch of floating graphite sticks in front of a computer and everything all of a sudden is on the internet. Not yet, but it's like the concept is there. You know,
Jeff
people like,
Bezos is working on it though, so we can.
yeah, exactly. Oh god, don't get me started on Jeff Bezos.
He got elevated to God status this week, motherfucker.
I'm gonna take it down the road for 1 second just because I'm so steamed about it. Did you hear that Whole Foods suggested
Yes.
that their workers donate their fucking PTO and sick time to
Jeff
a
Bezos,
pool?
you're douchebag, dude. You're total douchebag.
Jeff Bezos could put the entire company in their homes to be safe and pay them all their actual salary daily, and that wouldn't scratch his pile of wealth.
Fucking dumb dick.
Anyway, let's get into some news. Fuck Jeff Bezos. E3's canceled. Speaking of
E3 is
coronavirus shit,
canceled. No more E3.
we saw it coming. We knew it was coming. Regardless of this virus happening, it
Probably would have happened anyway.
I don't know, dude. Like, it would have been a really, really, really close call regardless, because of all the people that were dropping out anyway. But it is officially been canceled 100%.
Yeah.
This was communicated on March 11th. I'm pretty sure. No, that was Phil Spencer on March 11th talking about their community through Xbox and the things they're going to do. But yeah, man, they're done. They're donezo. Oh, what's the 11th? Yep. I don't know if they're going to come back from something like this, dude. With all of the different events people were making on their own, I don't think E3 comes back in the same way. I think you have maybe a smaller showcase, or maybe like this is the moment where it blows up and returns to form. Like, it's literally maybe next year, only developers in a hotel meeting.
So they're not doing anything. In conference they're not doing the exhibition, but are they doing like the E3 announcements?
I am not entirely sure. I don't.
Maybe we're just talking about the exhibition is canceled, but the announcements.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I do apologize. They do say that it was the ESA is the company, of course, that runs E3. ESA has added that they'll be looking to coordinate an online experience to showcase industry announcements and news in June 2020. So yes, they are going to kind of live online like the rest of us, which it's kind of the move.
Yeah, for all
Yeah,
like, did you see that fucking boneheaded piece of shit debate?
No, I didn't watch any of the debate. No.
So Bernie and Biden are just standing in an empty studio, just yelling at each other back and forth. It was so stupid.
Sure. So, just old people yelling.
Yeah. It was just two old dudes just screaming at each other, and I was just like, I can't even watch this stupid
Fantastic.
Shit.
It's incredible. Love it. But yeah, man. I mean, E3, the ESA has been on a downward spiral for a long time. You know, not like last year with the leaking of all the personal information.
Oh yeah.
You know, of content creators and journalists and all kinds of shit. Jeff Keighley saying that he's not doing the E3 Coliseum.
He backed out like what, 3 months ago or something. Or
yeah,
3 months ago.
Yeah, just a lot of hits to E3, and you know, even without the coronavirus, probably would have taken a hit or would have changed drastically. But yeah, I think maybe this could be a good reset, a good reboot. Next year is like just literally just devs again, devs, publishers, just the inside people, you know, meeting in a bar somewhere, having actual conversations, not a bunch of clowns going to play video games.
I mean, they might rethink public events in general across the entire country.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the entire concert industry is probably going to be trashed because of this disease.
Hey man, Twitch and Mixer, you can broadcast your shows. The only thing that's sad about losing an event like E3, I know a lot of other people have touched on this point, and we're going to rehash it again for sure. It's just the impact it has to the indie industry. Last week, talking with Charles from Coffee Addict Studios, him and their publishers were trying to make a game plan for getting more kind of eyes and ears on their game, Hazel Sky, coming out soon this year at some point. But all of those floor exhibitions are huge for indie games because people can actually get up there, get their hands on them,
we were
play
there,
the game.
And when we were there in 2016, what did they call they had a section for indie games. What was it called?
Yeah, it was probably Indie Showcase, Indie Floor, something like that. Like Indie Alley. I forget the name, but it would have been something catchy and snappy, and you would have walked in there and played all the indie games. So that's the big hit, dude. The fact that games like that don't have the money, don't have the exposure, the reach to get the attention that they need to. So I hope more work is being done to highlight them. The other big news that dropped yesterday is we finally got tech specs for the Sony PlayStation 5.
You're going to have to enlighten me on this. I'm sorry. You have to be the chariot and lead me out of Egypt.
It's a lot of numbers. Right. But there is some cool tech that that Sony has that they highlighted, especially on audio, and we're going to get into that. Now, I'm not just going to sit here and list a bunch of numbers. If you're interested in that, I'm sure you've already seen it or you found it. This is not the place you're coming to hear numbers conversations, but what we can talk about is the comparison between the PS5 and the Xbox. the Xbox Series X kind of right up against each other, and that'll make kind of more sense to listeners out there. We can throw some numbers out there too for fun, but like I'm not going to sit here and just list stuff because that's going to be meaningless. What's going to be meaningful is how does this matter? How am I playing my games? How are they going to look? How are they going to play? How are they going to load?
Right.
XYZ. The PS5's CPU, they're both using AMD, the Zen 2 core AMD chips.
Both the Xbox and the PS4.
But the core speed of the Xbox Series X is a little bit higher. But then again, PlayStation 5 lists a variable frequency. So maybe there's some hidden tech in there that can adjust that and make it push it higher, push it down, depending on performance or a stress need or something. What were you gonna say?
I just need to know if the T-flops are the same.
The T-flops are not the same, dude. There are slightly less T-flops in the GPU.
I just have to say this: T-flops, teraflops sounds dirty to me. I don't. Why?
I know.
Does that sound
it's the word
dirty?
flop. It's the word flop.
Why is the word flop so dirty?
When you think of like a penis flopping out.
Yeah, I was thinking about dick flopping or titties
Yeah.
flopping all over the place.
Sure. The word is flop. That's definitely what's getting you there. Yeah. Teraflops.
Teraflops. That's a lot of flops, dude.
A lot of flops, dude.
A lot of flopping.
Now, yeah. Now, on paper, there are more teraflops again in the Xbox Series X GPU, but the cores, the actual like core things, I think they're called CUDA cores, something like that.
I don't
That's
even know
at
what
least
that
the
means.
NVIDIA
You're just saying
technology.
Words. You're just saying words,
I know.
man.
I know. It's all words. All this stuff is words. All of this stuff. Compute units, I'm sorry. They're probably branded differently depending on who the manufacturers, but like GPUs have a number of individual little things, right? That do all of the work. And they're called compute units. There are more compute units in the Xbox Series X, but they run at a slower frequency than the PS5s. So PS5 has less compute units, but the compute units can lift more shit. And essentially, here's the cool part. Again, talking about Sony specifically, all of the backwards compatibility that they're promising with the PlayStation 5 is all being run and handled virtually by the GPU. The graphics card in the PS5 is essentially virtually making different graphics cards to match the system that game would have ran on.
Wow.
It can power all of that.
I mean, it's pretty cool that we'll be able to play like PlayStation 1 games.
Mm-hmm.
There might be an influx of people trying to buy it. Now, will it have a optical? Is it going to have optical? Oh, yeah. 4K UHD Blu-ray drive. So that means I could take an old PlayStation 1 disc, a CD-ROM, and pop it in?
They were CD-ROMs, yeah.
Yeah, I can pop that in there, and it would work.
I don't know if I want to say yes or no to that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Not that I have any.
Because I don't think they've promised full backwards compatibility. Xbox Series X has, right?
Right.
They promised full. PlayStation is only listing PS5, PS4 Pro, and PS4 in what they call legacy mode through their GPU, essentially emulating how those graphics chips would have worked.
Huh.
They're also coming out at a different time. They're not all launching when the unit launches.
Okay.
Those modes. So I have to do a little more research to be sure, but I don't think Sony has promised full backwards compatibility. Xbox has.
Cool.
But it's still cool how it handles it on the GPU. Another cool thing PS5 has is this 3D audio technology.
What is that?
It's 3D audio. It's a way to make sound more realistic, more robust.
When they say 3D, do they mean binaural?
It's probably deeper than that. It's deeper than that system, because that's more of a stereo concept, right? Binaural audio and binaural sound, stuff like that. The example that they used during this tech demo is thinking about rain in a game. Like when you hear rain,
yeah,
you are hearing one audio track that's just increasing in volume depending on where you are, right? Increasing, decreasing, that kind of stuff. The PS5 would theoretically be capable of letting you hear individual raindrops in relation to where you are. They can render things like that with its audio engine. Now that's exciting for me because I am such an audio focused gamer that stuff is very, very important. And I pay attention to it. I can't help but notice it. It's why I couldn't play Anthem, because Anthem had such terrible sound design that I was like literally frustrated by the gameplay not signaling me through sound as to what to do, where to go, feedback and shooting, getting hit, taking damage.
Yeah, I played a game where
were
that happened. I don't remember which one, but I played it. I definitely have shared your frustration with that in some game I played where audio wasn't cueing me to certain things, and I got pissed about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't remember which one.
I do want to call out a quick correction that the Xbox Series X is only backwards compatible to whatever is currently compatible on the Xbox One.
Wow.
But it still is more supportive than the PS5 in terms of older things that you can play on there.
Yeah, so definitely it's not going to go back as far as I thought it would. So it's not original Xbox.
Right. But yeah, the 3D audio thing is very, very exciting. And according to them, you're going to be able to take advantage of this no matter what headphones you have. Like you won't get the full advantage, maybe using like, whatever headset you have or just like a little simple stereo headset, but you will still be able to kind of like perceive the change in presence and directionality, because that's all being generated on the system for you versus just playing back a track that you're hearing in certain places. It's actually being generated and crafted and shaped and formed kind of around your head. So that's super, super cool.
Cool.
On the PS5. Very exciting, dude. Another thing that the PS5 has is probably the last super, super different thing, because they both have like 16 gigs of DDR6 RAM. There's slight differences in speed and access and stuff like that there. Pretty similar hard drives. They're NVMe SSD, just a regular SSD on the PS5. PS5 is 825 gigs. The Xbox Series X is 1 terabyte. But the data throughput of the PlayStation 5, the amount of data that can be accessed, if we're looking at the raw data speeds on the Xbox Series X, 2.4 gigabytes a second. On the PS5, 5.5 gigabytes a second.
Double the amount.
Yeah. Yeah. That's literally night and day. And that is raw data. Compressed data, it's an even wider margin. 4.8 gigabytes compressed on the Xbox Series X, 8 to 9 gigabytes compressed on the PlayStation 5.
Most important question.
Yes.
Will either of these consoles handle Fallout 76 jank?
No, that is unhandleable. Unhandleable. You're stuck.
You cannot hold it. You cannot hold the Fallout 76 jank. You can't.
You are stuck forever.
Some janky piece of shit stuff going on.
Yep.
And I'm always yelling at fucking Todd Howard. I'm always like, it just works.
You are.
I'm always like, it just works, Todd Howard. It just works.
Just works.
Remember he said that?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, see?
I know. Your favorite line.
See? It just works.
It just works. And also, and ray tracing. Ray tracing is native on the PS5.
Know what that is. I heard about that, but
ray tracing is how the system can model and simulate light.
Right.
So it's way more in depth of a lighting system than anything we've had yet. Like, in a computer generated world, you have to make a light. A light has to exist, right? And the light shines, and then the technology that you have in there determines what happens to that light. Does it hit something? How does the thing look now with the light on it? Like this, that's like the most basic step. Then you have things like shadows, and how does that get affected around the character? How does that actually change the way the shadow looks? Is there like reflection of light on other surfaces that can light surfaces that are not directly lit? Like stuff like that is all kind of working together with ray tracing. It's just the most high-tech, up-to-date lighting simulation that's accessible in a game to make shit look super, super, super realistic. And that kind of thing is not going to be really obvious. I mean, you're gonna be able to find examples. If you know what you're going to look for, you can find good ray tracing examples. I'm sure YouTube will be full of them. and already probably is because that's technology that's on PCs right now.
Right.
So you can definitely look it up if you're curious. But it's just going to make everything look just more real in a way that is kind of not really tangible unless you know exactly what's going on. Lighting is super cool to me too in these systems, dude. I remember, and there was actually a Twitter thread that went very in deep about this game and what this game did ahead of its time. But there's a game for the PlayStation 1 called Vagrant Story. It was made by Square, the same people that did Final Fantasy, and the same team that did Final Fantasy Tactics. And it even took place in the same world as Final Fantasy Tactics and 12. So you had the same world, team, and character designs as Final Fantasy, but a very different kind of game. It was its own kind of project. An RPG still, but very much like, positional. You're moving your character around, very cinematic. Like Hideo Kojima, refused to play Vagrant Story because he said he would be obsessed. He would never get any actual work done, and he would know what he did wrong.
Right.
That's how good this game was visually. To make their mouths move, these characters just like shaded pixels on the face because they were all 2D artists before moving to 3D. They all worked on Final Fantasy Tactics on the Super Nintendo. So all they had was like real knowledge and skill and flat design, but they made that work by like, changing the character's mouth movements and stuff like that.
Vagrant Story?
Vagrant Story. Yep. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because they also figured out a way to make things look realistic with lighting that had never been done before. They, again, with their 2D animation skills, would literally paint surfaces to look like they were lit a certain way. And then beyond that, Felix, here's a really, really, really wild thing. They were able to make character highlights look realistic. So like imagine someone standing in a dark hallway and then a door opens down the hallway and that door has a light inside of it and it spills light into the hallway. That character, a person, a human even in the situation, would have that side of their body illuminated in really, really stark contrast, right? Like the light's going to hit that side of their body and kind of fade off on the other side. You're going to know what side the light is facing them.
It's called ray tracing. Right? This whole concept.
No, not this concept specifically. But here's how Vagrant Story did that simulated look. They took a character model, Felix. They doubled the character model and shifted it over a little bit and made that character model in front of their other model lighter, like almost translucent. So what it looked like was they were being lit directly by a light, by actual like edge lighting. Shit had never been done on the PlayStation before. It was crazy. But that's the importance of tech like light tech and sound tech. It makes these things more immersive and these experiences more real and kind of just sucks people in to the games.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love when I'm playing games that have quality lighting and sound.
You feel like you're there in ways you can't even really.
Yeah, I definitely don't have anything to appreciate when I'm playing Fallout for extended periods of time. Or State of Decay 2. I said today on my stream that like when I was playing State of Decay 2 today, I said, I only play the shitty games. Thanks for coming here.
Thanks for hanging.
I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll get back to a beautiful game again. I don't know when.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, you're free to do what you want, play what you want, 100%.
I mean, I really did love how Death Stranding looked. I loved it.
No, dude, it's gorgeous. I forgot because I've just been away from it so far.
I got to get back to that fucking game. I really do.
Being in it today, I was like, man, this game looks incredible.
Now would be an appropriate time to do it.
The last thing we can chat about real quick, just kind of fits with the world and the way things are now and what's going on. Based on Steam Database, which is a tracking service for Steam.
Yeah.
They counted a record-breaking 20 million concurrent users using Steam because almost everyone, besides like essential jobs, are working at home or are sent home with pay. People are home and they're looking at game. 20 million people at the same time on Steam. That's nuts.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
It's absolutely nuts.
It's great. the industry that we love will flourish.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The more we
Streamers too.
stay
This is
hungry.
your time. This is your time. Everyone's gonna be trying to watch something too. So get on there.
My thing is the only way that I can keep the streaming going is if the job stays around. Without going into too much detail, you know the job I work, and I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be around after all this.
It will.
I'm
It will.
saying that this part of it.
It will.
I'll talk to you more about it later, but
Yeah, I know. You're not the only one with concerns as well. You know, a lot of people are in very, 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 very shaky water. So if that is one of you out there listening, I mean, bottom line, we're right there with you. We hear you, and come hang out with us because we're all getting through this shit together, honestly. So pop into our Discord, hang out. We're always, I mean, especially now, there's always groups of people gaming a ton of stuff. Come in just to chat, just to vent, just to find people that are also trying to jam and trying to game. We can do stuff like that to make it better for everybody by being community focused and helping each other out with getting through this kind of stuff. So don't feel free to reach out to us, or don't be afraid to reach out with us if you need to.
do you think, considering how much I'm playing this game, that I need to have a section in our Discord for Fallout 76? Yeah, you're making a face. It's not our brand. See what he's
No,
saying?
it's not a brand conversation. It's how busy would that channel be outside of you?
I don't know.
I guess. I mean, look,
Until it ends up there.
we don't know until we find out.
I meant just LFG. Just having it there if somebody wants to LFG me.
Really in here about to make a channel.
Actually, I think the problem is a good majority of the people in the Emergent Gamer are PC gamers, and most of them are not playing it on PC because of how trash it is. So
there are console players for sure, but it's probably, if we were to make it a percentage, a single digit percentage of the entire community there.
Yeah. All right, never mind.
We can discuss this for sure.
Fuck it.
But yeah, I think that's all I got personally. Anything else you wanted to chat about?
No, just it's really important. Please, if you're already subscribed, I mean, obviously subscribe if you have not subscribed to the Emergent Gamer podcast or followed us, Emergent_Gamer on Mixer or Twitch, if you want to catch these shows live. But if you already are subscribed, you're already following, you're listening right now, maybe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please tell people you know that you're listening to an awesome gaming podcast. Don't forget, we're Grassroots. Don't forget to be our advertising. I mean, you're going to get our word out there and let people know that we exist. So do it.
It's true. It's very, very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll let you take the final sign out. I'll start right now. Guys, thank you again for listening, for hanging out. Episodes are going to continue as normal going forward. We'll just be doing them on Discord, keeping our social distance.
We have to.
I am Trip Zero.
What was the exact number? The distance?
Our exact number.
Yeah.
Right now, me and you are 68,640 feet away from each other. So that's very safe. You don't have to get that aggressive. 6 feet between you and the person next to you. But if you want, you can go up to 70,000 feet.
I'm
going to
be honest with you, and I have no proof of this. It could have been like some kind of media spin. But I read a thing that, like, when the coronavirus broke out in China, that there's actual fact an entire bus got it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I don't even know if, like, I guess it was circulating through the air conditioning on the bus.
They could do that. I mean, dude, that was definitely one source, because a virus couldn't get into someone, propagate, and then repropagate off that person on a bus ride. It was one person that spread all that, but they were either coughing or sniffling or touching everything, and then everyone else. Maybe they touched like the pole by the front, and everyone like touched the same kind of something, to get off or whatever.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm Trip Zero. You can find me on mixer.com/TripZeroTV. I stream every day, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. In terms of handling some stuff with life, the way things have shifted now, streams may start a little bit later. I'm saying that like I always start at 10. I think I've hit 10 a.m. like 3 times in the past couple of months. But yeah, so between 10 and 12, I'm live, but then we go till 5. It's very important to follow my social media, because that's when I will be doing what I'm doing. I'm always going to tweet about it. That's Trip Zero TV. All my stuff is Trip Zero TV. I'm very easy to find. So yeah, see you on there. We're going to be doing a lot of fun, different games, and it's always a chill, fun time. Come hang out.
And this is Felix Hergood, and all of my socials are at Felix Hergood. Twitter, Twitch, Mixer. You can follow me on all of them. Mixer and Twitch happen exactly at the same time. I go live. I go to both services at once through a third-party service called Restream. And right now I'm playing Fallout 76, building up, ramping up to that big release that hopefully still happens. Bethesda, please do not kill your employees. Make them work from home. Please, Pete Hines, Todd Howard. They won't just work if they die of the coronavirus. So yeah, but I do want Wastelanders to come on the 7th of April. I hope it comes so that I can play it that day. But anyway, yeah, thanks for everything.
Thanks for hanging, guys. We'll catch you next week.